Here we go. Uh-oh. There's a link. So you guys can use that. All right, all right. Let's see. Welcome, welcome. Some of my favorite poets. Both of y'all from the Carolinas, right?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah. All
I'm
right,
from the
North
Carolinas.
Kakalaki. North Kakalaki in the building.
I think Josephus might be from, Arkansas or something. I don't remember.
Oh, shots fired. Shots fired. We can't hear you, Josephus. You talking. You got it
I,
muted.
that's why I made the joke because I know he got he taking care of the baby. He ain't as quick on the
You can't
draw as
go
he used
off
to
on
be.
you. You still muted? There you go. Okay.
Yeah, once you finish your hair, we'll get it started, get it popping. I know, but you got a head full of hair right now and it's wet.
Family man in the building. I
Exactly.
love it.
This is real life. Real life.
Hey, it don't get much better than that.
It does not. Sunday
Yeah.
getting ready to reset for Monday. You
Hey,
see, I'm getting jacked up right now, looking got my shirt off, jacked up.
that's your new baby.
Like, mm-hmm. Like,
Is
where
he
you
the
think you
fourth?
going? He is the fourth. Josephus Amir Thompson the fourth.
Ah, I love it. Look at he got them paws
Mhm.
too. He look like he gonna hurt somebody one day.
Yeah.
Look,
Yes,
I'm just
we are
looking at his
jacked
little
up.
fist. He ain't playing.
Hmm. Not at
Welcome
all.
everybody to our first Sundays with Black Poet Laureates. I'm going to be your host today. We're going to have ourselves a day old time with Desana Hanu and Josephus Thompson III. All right. I love it. I love it. Um, put your questions in the chat and share the link with everybody you know so that they can tune in and hear this greatness that is with us. So I'm gonna give you guys an opportunity to introduce yourselves to everybody. I'm gonna mute myself. I'm gonna let Desan, you can go first, and then Josephus, you can go and just tell everybody that's watching who you are, what you do, and where they can find you. We'll start there.
First of all, what is that in the background? What is that, a reef? What is that, a holiday over there?
So it's actually it is a wreath, but it's a wreath of cotton.
Oh.
So there's
Say what?
so there is a black farmer and artist who works with cotton. Yeah. And as you know, of course, as both a statement about our history and origins in this country, but also as just a way to also highlight our traditions in terms of agricultural and things like that. But yeah, southern young black guy who does work with cotton. So yeah, I'm Nasana Hanu, poet, curator, cultural organizer, arts administrator. Um, just I am the 2023 Piedmont Laureate for Central North Carolina, and just someone who really is dedicated, committed to art and culture. Excited to be here because this just feels like sitting in the living room with family. But that is me and what I do.
Word. Josephus, poet laureate for Greensboro, father, entrepreneur, artist, and dreamer. Here, if you see me rocking, I'm rocking the baby in motion, so he does not cry. But I'm happy to be here and just continue to share it and grow this spoken word platform.
Absolutely
Definitely.
amazing. All right. So, Desan, I've known you for years and years and years. Josephus, I had the pleasure of meeting you for the first time just a couple months ago. So, this is an awesome time for me. Y'all, I got all kinds of stuff like going through my head, just dealing with the culture. And so I think I'm on a call with like some of the best people to have that conversation and hear some poems with. Um, Desan, you got a new book out, right?
Yeah, so this year I released a chapbook called A Brilliant Uncertain Rebellion. Um, and it was just sort of examining the kind of all the things we go through navigating this world as artists. It was inspired by the conversation Andre 3000 had with Rick Rubin that came
Okay.
out, of course, while we were all sitting in the house during the pandemic, and how much that kind of just resonated with so many people in terms of, you know, his journey, stardom, stepping away, all the things that people consider weird, but when you hear him talk about it, make a lot of sense. And so I started writing poems from then, and it came together into this book.
I love it. Awesome. So hopefully we'll get to hear a little bit from it tonight. So I'm gonna start this conversation because it's just been a conversation that we're having in my house as of late. Because there is a 9-year-old with a song on YouTube that you know where I'm going. I see your head nodding already, Hassan. That speaks of very violent and sexually explicit content. Um, and I'd like to know, especially as Black fathers and Black men, how do you all feel about the movement of violent rap or killer rap moving down to the younger and younger people?
Wow, killer rap. I haven't heard this song. I have no idea about the killer 9-year-old rap song. But I'm sure they exist. You know what I'm saying? Um, and I think that's why I feel more important that we continue the work that we do so we can show young people there's another way, other ways to express
Mm,
yourself, other ways to create art, other ways to get paid and get your coins in the bag. And I think representation is important. And so lots of times I think young people are doing what they see. What people tell them works. They don't know what other options are available. But I think having poets and artists in their community that they see that are making a positive change and they're doing things differently and still making money, um, changes what they see they can be. So I think environment representation is definitely very important when it comes to young people.
Yeah, that's extremely true. So, you know, drill, um, it is extremely popular now, and it is sort of this generation's gangster rap. Um, the reason why I shook my head is that recently there's an artist named My Son who has been very vocal about, you know, personal accountability and responsibility,
hmm
especially in the music. Someone who um, is known as a lyricist, but is also a street rapper, and has had his run in and had his past. Has been, you know, kind of taking some artists to task, and his criticism was that this 9-year-old has a mentor who's already an established rapper, who basically was like, "Yo, like let's not do this with this young man." What was interesting to me was the response was, and I think this goes back to what Joe was saying, was the established rapper mentoring him was like, he's from around our way, and a lot of folks talk about the way he talks and how young he is, but he's like, these youngins around here, that's what they do. And if there's a possibility for me to help this young man change his life and his family's life through this music, then I'm gonna help him get this bag, and we're gonna help him change his circumstance. That reason why that stood out to me is, I mean, and of course the other rapper is an established rapper, also a drill head, but um that's the thing that we got to consider. it's easy to hear the content and be like, what the hell, 9-year-old, what you doing? But I think the deeper thing is when Joe's talking about models and alternatives and like being present and offering this is we got to understand that it's not just happening because it's popular. It's happening because this is being looked at as a way to change a circumstance. And unless there are other models and other possibilities and other alternatives that are there, we can not like it, we can criticize it, but we can, unless we're in position to offer an alternative to change the material conditions for the person that's happening to, we're fighting an uphill battle. And so I'm glad Joe said that, because we got to get past our shock and kind of think about what it means for this to be the way for a family to change their circumstance, for this 9-year-old to really be on a record spitting street life, like that. And so, yeah, we gotta, there needs to be art, there needs to be creative programs, there need to be models in the community, there need to be other ways for folks to see how to use that energy and still get to the same place, which is to change their life for the better, change their family's life, and be able to express themselves.
Okay, all right. See, that's why I needed to talk to you. See, the professor of hip hop. That's what I'm talking about. Yes, break it down for me, because I'll be honest, I did not necessarily understand why, and and speaking from my place of honesty, I still can't say I understand why this is where money is. Why is there so much money? Why is this the way for him to change? Why is this the way for him to change? Does that make sense what I'm saying? That's the part I don't understand. Why does this type of rap have to be, oh well, this is how he's going to change his life? Like, why does the culture even pour money into that
Not the
mental
culture.
space?
Not the culture. Why do corporations
Okay.
invest lots and lots of money into this? And that's the question we got to keep asking. They do it because they make lots and lots of more money off of it.
Right.
And
Because but that means we're taking it in as the culture, right? We're taking it in and putting money back into it, so that a corporation is like, oh, I can give this kid $500,000 because I'm gonna make 10 million off of it, right? Because we are, pouring into it. If that makes sense, I don't know. I guess that's my question, and it's an evil cycle. I'm not saying that's not, and I don't know that we'll get to the answer tonight. We probably won't, but it's just, to me, that there's a cycle there. If we said that we didn't want to hear that type of music, then they're not putting any money into it. So why is that something we want to hear?
well, see, there's a that we this is an interesting thing about this conversation, because the thing ultimately that we're going to have to interrogate is who's spending money on this music. Our assumption is because the faces look like ours, that we're the ones,
Ah.
that are listening to it. I believe that if we actually polled our communities, our music palettes are a lot broader and wider than our assumptions. Now, there are a bunch of young folks, but that happens all the time. If there's an 18, 19-year-old rapping, there's going to be a bunch of 16, 17-year-olds that like it,
Right.
regardless of the content. But I'm pretty sure if we look at it, that this is getting consumed. As someone who sees students and listening to and what they think is hot, of that don't look like the rappers that they're playing, there's a lot of folks consuming this that ain't us, which is another thing to consider. What does that mean? What does that dynamic mean? But once again, what does it what does it mean? And I know Joe is one of those folks who talks a lot about that because of how much he works in schools and works around young people. What does
Mm-hmm.
it mean for us to continually provide alternatives? What does it mean to know for a fact, because we've touched schools and touched classrooms, that young folks know that there's more to consume and that they like it because of how they respond to it. That, like, we've got to dispel some of these notions about that, because a lot of the assumptions we make are being given to us, right?
Mm.
When we're out here outside and we know that our young folks are way more dynamic, their interests are wider.
Right.
And
Right.
so that's what we got to operate off of, because that's the answer. If we listen to folks, well, it seems despondent, like, we losing our youth. Nah, we know for
Right.
a
Right.
fact that there's way more to them
Mm-hmm.
than what the conversation is about. We just got to continue to push forward.
I love
I
it.
think important is access too. I turn on the radio, and um, what's her name? Sexy Red song is on every hour on the hour, talking about ski, to the
Mm-hmm.
point where my 5-year-old daughter knows the song because kids at school are singing it.
Right.
It's all over social media. Their teachers now using, this phrase in their classrooms for
Oh yeah.
educational purposes. You know, so it's about what we have access to.
Mm-hmm.
And lots of times, access is limited in our communities because they only have access to what's on the radio, and we're not controlling what's playing that.
Mm-hmm.
Desan and I can both attribute. We know lots of underground artists who have dope songs, but it takes forever for us to get them on the radio because it's already programmed
Right.
from a higher level with regards to what they want to be played. We're not choosing that music for ourselves. Someone else is picking the music. And not only are they picking it, but they're playing it on the hour every hour. So even if we hate it, we know all the words to it.
Right.
But every time I turn on the radio, that song comes on. And I don't want to hear that. I mean, I've heard it. I understand what it is, but I don't want to hear it every hour on the hour.
Right.
But
But
it
it's played
plays. It's a
every hour.
cycle every hour on the hour.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a whole playlist of that stuff. So who's choosing the playlist? Because it's not us.
Right. Okay.
And we all know about payola. You pay to have it played, and plays over and over again to make your song popular. So it's part of the culture, and the decisions that are being played on radio, especially local radio, is not by us. We're not requesting those songs.
Yep. Yeah. We did a panel about radio and podcasting, and it was interesting because the radio folks were like, even though so many people consume music in so many different ways,
Mm-hmm.
80% of music consumed today is still through the radio. Over 80%.
That's
So
crazy.
we lose sight of that because personally, there is a lot of us who choose to go hunting. But
Right.
most people,
Just
just
take
like Joe
public
said,
radio.
are still plugged into the radio.
Yeah. I love talking to y'all. Y'all just make my heart happy. All right, let's get into
Yeah,
some
and in
poems.
that city, if your only option is a 102 Jams and a 102 Jams, I don't think there's another option in
Mm-hmm.
Greensboro for hip hop radio. 97.1 is like more old school R&B, but for hip
Mm-hmm.
hop radio, there's only one station.
Right. And
That's
that
it.
station
There
is
there are
gonna
there are
be
no other options, and that station is playing
Sexy Red.
those 10 songs every hour on the hour for the next 6 months.
Wow. Mm. We got a lot of work to do.
Mhm.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get into some poems. Who wants to go first?
I will go first to have a baby, so
Yeah, I
he's
was
he's
about to
asleep
say,
right
go ahead,
now.
Joe.
Um,
All right. You got
um,
it.
and this kind of speaks to what we've been talking about. Just really finding your lane. Finding what works for you. Life experiences. I'm an industrial engineering major. Um, Graduate of North Carolina A&T State University. Aggie Pride. But I'm a full-time poet and artist now. And that was not the plan. I graduated with a degree trying to find a job and just did not work out for me. As I say, God had other plans. Um, and really falling in line with your purpose, really falling in line with finding something that you would do for free. And the trick is doing it so whether people actually want to pay you for it, changes the trajectory of what you can be, what you're able to create, and your perspective on life. So please understand that my purpose, that this purpose has somehow been written, almost engraved on the daily pages of my life. And I'm just now learning to actually read them. You see, Lord knows that I wish I could show you the mental bruises of my strife, but instead, I will show you how He shaped and molded me. Has got me praying every single day, Lord, please use me. You see, like Bible pages, my purpose has been translated on several occasions, but I promise you it's nothing. I'm receiving personal insight. Sometimes, but most times it makes it so evident. Yet we refuse to see it, so we close our eyes and pretend to be blind, but purpose, true divine purpose, it finds you, reminds you of who you are. It shines this light on your so-called life, but you're really not living if you're not giving of yourself. You see, the wealthy bless you with your gift, and some won't let it have it. Some won't accept it. Some refuse to use it. Some abuse it. Yet today, tonight, we here, we choose it. And I'm thinking that maybe, just maybe this purpose thing chose me. You see, without purpose, I have no true identity. So please understand that I did not submit to this thing willingly. He sort of forced me repeatedly. I mean, over and over and over, and I was left with nothing until I submitted completely to His will and my purpose, bringing me autonomy. I didn't say fame or money, but a purpose. Ours being service. You'll never find your true treasure where your heart is not. And today, tonight, my heart is here. So I'm thinking that my treasure must be soon to follow. So please understand that my purpose, that this purpose has somehow been written, almost engraved on the daily pages of my life. And I'm just now learning to actually read them, to finally accept and understand my God-given purpose, that of service, that of family, that of community, and responsibility through this thing called poetry. This is my purpose. Peace.
Yes, sir. Love it. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Finding our purpose. Yes. Uh, that is everything.
Mm-hmm.
I just last Sunday did my very first one woman show, and it was about helping people to find their purpose, and because it was called When a Teacher Gets Free or Breaks Free, When a Teacher Breaks Free, and so we're just talking about as a teacher because I teach math. I don't teach poems. I teach math. I use poems, teach math, but everything's math for me. And
Mhm.
and once I realized that my passion and my purpose was in these words, and and then utilizing that to help people connect to their own purpose and use their passion in every aspect of life, that's that was freedom for me. And so the show is about, finding that purpose and being free enough to free other people. So thank you, Josephus, for sharing your purpose with us. All right, Mr. Ahanu.
Okay. Um, the Bible says, "For every man shall bear his own burden." So I'm trying to carry the weight of these notebooks between the blades of my shoulders. My backpack filled in boulder. I even tattooed the word poetry across my back at the request of a woman who wrote how she wanted me to hold her. Wanted me to lose myself in her after we lost our clothes, but every time we undressed, I felt the room get colder. What a frigid blasphemy passion can be, a lie we continuously rewrite sunlight when it's over. It's easier to escape the frost of disregard when you can say you got caught in the heat of the moment, paying attention to the lust and scheduling installments with the person who loaned it. That bedroom is the proper property for a temporary stay. We would rather Airbnb responsibility so that we can check out of our choice because we ain't got to own it. Make it easier to explain a vacation to the man that she really wanted. See, she promised me her words, but it promised him her hand in marriage. Got me dangling in front of her, but had him lace her in carrots. We stick into the script. She directed me to be all in. Then we cut, and when it's in scene, she back to the editing room, make it seem like that's the only ring that matters. See, ever since then, I've just believed that's the way it goes. I give you these words and all of this nakedness because it's what I know. I expect you to want me to hold your curiosity, lose myself in the performance, be vulnerable, let go. But when I'm on stage, I just feel the venue frost over. Don't matter. I still give you one hell of a show. Embrace the scars and the stripes, open your mind, dig into the intimate details of our lives, pull in all the dysfunction of the world around us, make it make sense, make it feel good, reach parts of your spirit you didn't think possible. Have you lost in the flow? You get it, get gone for a few minutes, get what you wanted, and then off you go. And I'm left alone while you return home back to the life you actually chose. That applause is supposed to have me flattered, because making sure the audience is satisfied is all that matters. And as long as I tear it down, forget the ruins I'm left with, like later I'll tell my folks the set was hot. They'll say, I bet it was great exposure. I'll just reply, they just love me exposed. See, I know that I'm just a convenient infatuation and indulgence justified as art appreciation, an escape you call me complicit in so that you can deny responsibility for any pain, a culpability that requires no sacrifice, a moment you can experience but not claim. The biting of this apple can be seen as not your sin. We knew what it was, so you don't feel any shame. I mean, ain't I the one who chose this game? So somehow I end up with the blame when the tree of knowledge, the voice of reason, and the serpent seem to all bear my name.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Did
As
you say
that,
some white or sunlight?
Sunlight. Sorry, I'm Southern. The
sorry, I'm
words get
Southern.
words ramming together. It was supposed to be sunlight, but I
Okay,
said
this
fight.
story sounds familiar.
Joe, hush. We known each other too long, Joe. Hush.
Yo, what's crazy is we need to, well, we don't need to, but they have the what was the basketball wives and all the hip hop LA hip man. We had poetry, North Carolina, poetry, Atlanta. Man, it'd be so, oh goodness gracious, it'd be so much drama
So
and
much.
You know,
stories.
we've been saying for years, my husband and I, that there should be like a reality TV show for poets.
No, it
Um,
shouldn't. That would not help the brand. That would erase everything we've been trying to create all these years. That would take us back to one.
that, you
Um,
know how they did like the Real Husbands of Hollywood. So it wasn't like reality. It was like scripted. It was really just to poke fun
okay, that
reality
that could be
TV.
that could be that could be cool.
We'd
That could
find
be
a way
Yeah.
cool.
that would turn left too. We
I don't know, Desan. We did a pretty good job when we did Beyond the Spark during the pandemic.
we did, because there wasn't a lot of room for it to go left. But
Good point. Good point.
yeah, that was
We did
that was
have that one
managed well.
moment. We did have that one moment where
Yeah,
she
but
went off. But
anything else, we leave folks to their own devices for too much.
I had to bleep out quite a bit on that episode. Oh gosh, but that was fun. That was fun. Josephus, I don't know if you know, during the pandemic, we did a reality series of sorts called Beyond the Spark, and it's on YouTube. You can go watch all the episodes. But we had six poets, and they worked together on these projects that they would have like a month to do, and met over Zoom and all of that. So it was great, great work. You guys did amazing work during that process. I think I love organizing crazy stuff like that because it pushes us beyond what we're used to, right? We have normal things that we're used to doing for creation, but it got us to look at some different things. Like we looked at neurodiversity and we looked at colorism. We looked at all kinds of stuff. And when I look at the stuff that y'all produced, you know, across miles, it was just amazing.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
It was
The
crazy. That
movies and the videos that came out of that. It's like, what?
yeah.
Poets are amazing.
Yeah, that piece was actually one of the things that came out of being because I had the feedback that we got from the coaches. One of my pieces, it was always like, this is probably, I remember, forget, Jay was like, this is going to be in multiple pieces. And that was one of them that came out of one of the challenges that we had from Beyond Spark. Yep.
Yeah, y'all killed that. I still go back and watch those episodes when I need to be inspired. So thanks so much. Yeah. All right. So let's see. We talked a little bit about the culture and all of that good stuff. What are you guys watching? Movies, TV, that kind of stuff. What's sparking your interest right now? Besides Paw Patrol for you, Josephus, because you're over there in dad mode.
Yeah. I am watching Generation V. It's a spinoff of The Boys on Prime. Um, that's been pretty good. Between that and Loki, bouncing back and forth has been my free time situations. He Who Remains, you know what I'm saying? He's got everybody going. Jonathan Major's doing a phenomenal job.
Yeah. I definitely keep track of the Marvel stuff, but I'm a big sitcom guy.
Me
Um,
too.
so like I consume sitcoms, and I just binge watch them, and then go back and watch old ones. I just finished, well, no, we're not done yet. I'm in the midst of Upload right now, that I got introduced. Is beautifully written, sitcom on Prime.
It's called
Um,
Upload.
Upload, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, it's
Okay.
pretty. And then go back and watch old ones. I just got through The Good Place. Um, The Good Place is also really well written. Um, so I was excited about getting through that. I ran into that one. I think that was on Netflix.
Is that
Um,
the one where they're like
and have
in
and
in
yeah,
a, in a heaven? Oh, I binged watched that bad boy. That was amazing. Yes.
yeah, yeah. So yes, joints like that. Any of the sitcoms that especially when I hear the writing is good. But yeah, I'm a sitcom fanatic. I've been that way for years.
Yeah, I like. I think I just like what I like. I like comedy sitcoms, and then also really like drama. I don't know, like things that pull out different emotions and maybe. So lately, because we dealt with the boycott, and so there was no new TV. So we went back and started watching some old stuff. So I'm on 911 Lone Star right now because I love the original 911 because of my girl Angela Bassett. And so I decided to try the 911 Lone Star, and now I'm in that one too. That was great. Um, and then what else have I been watching? It's called A Million Little Things. If you haven't watched it yet, it's good. It's really, really good. It's like 5 seasons of it.
Okay.
And then Apple TV is like on it for their stuff. So Ted Lasso is my homie
Yep. So
on Apple TV.
there's the one. Okay, on Apple is the Harrison Ford and oh, what's
Oh,
my
that's the
man's name?
shrinking.
Yep, yep.
Yes,
That was good
that's
stuff.
what got me to get an Apple TV membership. It's shrinking. I loved it. So yeah, absolutely. Joseph is looking at us like we crazy. All right, cool. Um, I love that. Martin Scorsese's Killers of the Flower Moon is a masterpiece. Oh, okay.
Hmm.
Thank you, Beverly. I did not know that. I'm gonna check it out. I always like having some stuff. I like the TV on when I'm like working in math because it allows me to work both sides of my brain at the same time. So I tend to. Oh, Josephus got kicked out. Okay, so I tend to have stuff on the TV while I'm working through spreadsheets and doing math problems.
Hmm.
I'm weird. Okay. Let's see. I think I got one more question for y'all. What kind of stuff have we been doing around here? Um, The manosphere. I always like hearing how people feel. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? The manosphere? Nope. No, no. Okay. All
Mm-mm.
right. So the manosphere is a series of people who put out these videos on YouTube that and it's like responses to the dating world now. And what and what black women are saying they need or want, or and then what black men are saying they need or want, and what a high value man is, and
Yeah.
all. Now you know what I'm talking about. Okay, yes, I want to hear your thoughts on the manosphere.
Um, it's entertaining. What worries me is that folks are listening to it. And here's the thing. Glad you asked this question. So here's the thing. So let's bring up some particular examples. So what was fascinating to me is that there were real live debates about things that Kevin Samuels was saying.
Yes, absolutely.
Kevin Samuels was an image consultant,
Hmm.
right? I'm just baffled by how we made these conversations about perception, because they were openly about perception. He was very open about
Hmm.
this is like, these things are not about happiness. They are about how you move through the world and how
Yes.
the world. And we're having like real live debates. And
Hmm.
so the lack of ability to compartmentalize this is what bugs me out. But I think it also shows how hard it has become for folks um, to figure this thing out. And the longer and older folks get, the more trauma, the more anxiety, the more angst. And so this is what's being mined right now. Like this
Hmm.
whole thing is just really galvanizing and polarizing, but
Yes.
also hilarious, because I'm like, y'all know, for this list,
It's
right?
crazy,
Right.
right?
And I'm like, y'all know, I don't know why y'all are acting like is anything valid about these lists when
No.
all of us have done all the things on this list.
I just think it's hilarious
Mhm.
that women would come up with a list of places not to go on a first date, and then the response of the men was even more hilarious. Like it was just like how much funnier can we get? Like how far could we go?
But what's wild is I had a conversation with a couple brothers who were talking about that video, right? And now by the time we had the conversation, I already knew it was a skit, right? They hadn't got that information yet. And so it's this thing of like, we're in this content, and all of this is because
Hmm.
we're content generation. And so all of
Right.
this is intended for attention. It's content and it's intended to
Hmm.
spark dialogue, but it doesn't cycle quick enough,
Right.
because it hits. Then we start to find out who's behind it, what it was. We get clips of it. Nobody ever goes and follow up and watches the whole conversation, right? And even the clips are curated. Like, producers of
Right.
these segments cut these clips in particular ways, and it's just wild how we end up really having real life conversations, and in some ways making real life decisions
Yes.
based off of this content. Like, we don't
Yeah.
live in a real world.
Yeah, I have a friend who lost his fiance because he told her that she was not a high value woman the way that the way that Kevin Samuels said that she should be, and she left him.
First of all, I'm not in the what is this, the manosphere? What is that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Manosphere. I'm in the datasphere. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not even in that cycle. of contagion. But what I will say is that, as Hassan pointed out, these are majority of skits and definitely when attention in an attention society, where it's very
Mm,
popular to be gaining attention. And so what I would say is we need spaces for men to have real conversations about real
yes.
issues, about real happiness, about real things happening in their lives. And that doesn't exist in a lot of spaces, especially for Black men. So I would love
Mm,
to see more space for us to have conversations about what it takes to build a family, what it takes to be successful, what it takes, to express yourself, to be vulnerable, to heal. Like, these are real conversations that Black men need to have and have spaces
yes.
for. And there need to be more spaces and clips around that versus
I
other
agree.
BS that we're paying attention to.
Oh
Um,
yes. I know Michael Chief,
Mhm.
um he has a podcast and I want to see him hit, 100,000, a million views on that is it black men need therapy.
Mhm.
All black men need therapy. That's what it's
Yep.
called. Um
mhm.
it's an amazing podcast. Absolutely amazing. The conversations they have on there are about being fathers, being husbands, um, how to live through depression and what's on the other side of that. Conversations that, like you said, Josephus, we need to be paying attention to, as opposed to giving ladies who say they won't go to what was it? Cheesecake
Cheesecake
Factory.
Factory.
Yeah, she won't go to the Cheesecake Factory.
Well, here's the thing that both of y'all understand, and this has been my dilemma, my frustration for a long time. Because me and my friend, Church the Poet, we have
Oh
this
yes.
conversation. Um, when you work in the arts and you actually throw events, which all of us do,
Mm-hmm.
the thing that always used to frustrate me is that most of our events are attended by women.
Mm-hmm.
If there are
Not
men,
most, all.
okay,
Don't.
all of our events are, well, no, I mean, all of our events are mostly attended by women.
Okay,
Okay.
valid statement.
If they're men, they're there with their partner, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
They are they're poets.
Mm-hmm.
There rarely are men there just to come check it out that are unattached or
Right.
single, right?
Right.
Um, you may get lucky on a given night, and there may be a handful.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, what baffles me about that is that there's a missing opportunity to be able to engage
Mm.
in a space that is made for vulnerability and emotion,
Right.
and a space where it's okay to be vulnerable as a man because it's being
Mm-hmm.
modeled, because the poets are, most of them.
Right.
Some folks over there front, and we know how that goes. But that's a whole nother conversation. But for the
Yeah.
most part, there's an open space for folks, and you know what I'm saying? Like, there's poems being expressed that
Mm-hmm.
raise all these concerns and raise all these questions.
Right.
And there's a real life response, because there's also other folks getting on stage. Like, this is a real conversation happening. And then there's a room full of folks who came to this space to be able to see vulnerability, to be able to feel, to be emotional, to laugh, to cry, to gasp, all of this. And I can't get dudes to show up.
Right.
Even if I
And
tell
it's
them, no,
80% women.
bruh, but y'all,
It's like an
I got,
HBCU.
right, but I gotta sit and listen to y'all complain about where y'all go and how y'all ain't found nothing and ain't nothing worthwhile out. And I'm
Come
like,
on.
come through the set.
Right.
Come. Nope. Nope. Nope.
Let
But
me
No.
let me take let me take it a step further. So a step further is, as a host of these events, what happens is when the one single dude does come, I get four women that come in and say, "Who is that? Who is that guy? Is he single?" So like we end up playing matchmaker. Some dude that strolls in off the street, and it's five women, trying to get at him because
Mm-hmm.
he's new to the scene and there's no men coming.
right,
I get four
Mm-hmm.
DMs, not about me, but about the dude that saw
The
it open
dude who
mic
showed
event.
up.
Yeah, the dude that showed up and who he is.
but
It's
cats is
crazy.
arguing online about Kevin Samuels. You
Right.
know how frustrated that is. I'm
It
like, we
is.
can
It
fix
is.
all of this. Just come to the poetry set. Just come this week.
Yeah. Just
We can
just
fix all
come.
this.
I agree. my husband's mentoring a young man, and he's like, I'm not going out of the house because all these girls ain't about nothing. And he's like, why don't you go to one of Rhea's events? And he's like, no, no, I'm not gonna do that. It's like,
Uh,
you don't get to complain. You don't get to complain.
art exhibitions, maybe if
Nothing.
it's live music, you know what I'm saying? You might
Hmm.
get that. But like if it gets more artistic than that, nah, the numbers start to dwindle real quick. But
Real quick.
and and I'm just like, this is baffling to me.
But they'll go to a bar for Monday Night Football with 80 other dudes and then fight over the two girls in there.
I don't know. Maybe we got to start doing events at football nights.
No, no, we don't. No, we
No.
don't.
He's
It's a
like,
talented,
no, that's not
it's a
it.
talented 10 for a reason. You know what I'm saying? We're exactly where we're supposed to be.
Uh,
Yeah, we
because
No,
spent to
what
I
do what
they
we
know,
do
are.
there.
because I know we can all attest, you know what I'm saying? You know, at the slam, we've had folks propose on stage. Like, look, I be telling folks, like, look, I have I have documented evidence that
Yeah.
Hmm.
that things positive things happen over here. You can
Yes.
keep doing whatever you're doing all you want.
We've had at least 3 proposals on the Portrait Cafe stage the last 5 years.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I think I've had one, but my event is only 2 years old, so we're doing good.
You know where it ain't happening? At Buffalo Wild Wings on Monday night.
Nope, not happening.
Not at all.
Not at all. I love it. I love that we're talking about love. Can you both do a love poem for us? Uh-oh.
I think I can pull that off. You want to go first, Joe? I will go first.
Yeah, you can. He's fidgeting. He's looking at me now, like, what you about to do?
Here we go. My love is sweet tea and sweet potato pie, the kind of rush you're going to need rest after. It is a sacrifice for the greater good, the aftermath of a hurricane and the collateral damage of a heat wave. It is the perfect recipe for a gift and a curse, be it chalice or urn, bedroom or burial plot. It is the selfless cacophony of a Sunday choir, a belligerent bellowing of thank yous, a whisper amidst the indignant white noise of disregard, all turned piercing note in God's ear, all colored and convicted, all thank you, Lord, and by. It's the forever of Big Mama's living room blanket, from swaddle to shroud, from glory to goodbye, the birth of a tomorrow and the death of a yesterday, the rise of an opportunity, the comfort of a choice. See, my love is fresh rain and Nag Champa, sky and earth, later and before, here and now. It's the sun playing hopscotch with a horizon on a clear blue day, the moon streaking naked to the flash of paparazzi. It's an escape and a welcome home, an answer to a prayer and a question to a wish. It is a negotiation between need and want and everything in between. The first and the last time, and everything and anything. It is, it will be, it could be yours.
Okay, poet, offering up love. I love it. I'm there for it.
Mm-hmm.
How many people you had come up to you after and was like, I think you wrote that poem for me. You just didn't know it yet.
No, no, no. Since we are on camera and this is being recorded, never.
I love it. I love it. I used to have a poem back when I was writing really bad poems in college. We're not gonna go into how bad the poem was. It was really bad, but I would have guys come up to me afterwards and be like, I'm that king you was writing about." I'm like, nah.
Mm,
Okay.
nice try.
Ooh, all right, Josephus, you are up. Uh-oh.
Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Oh, okay. Um, she came in, book bag dragging, tears welled up on her eyes when she wanted to cry. She's only about 7. Said they've been making fun of them on the bus again. Said that she talked proper and dressed funny. Said she thought she was all that because her parents had money, and me, well, I lie. Long ways on the couch watching TV. He came and sat next to me. I sat up slowly, placed her on my knee, and said, "Honey, baby, look at me. You are the realest shit I ever wrote. You're dope." Now I know I probably should be cussing at a 7-year-old, but sometimes little girls need to know that daddy thinks they are the shit. So I told her, I said, your mother was a simile and your father was a metaphor. We were so different, but had so much in common. Therefore, you are like the sun, the light of my life. Your pen slowly in black ink, connected to your ancestors, your story of dedication and promise. You see, forced to be honest with like these words. DNA just don't lie. You're a blueprint of me, mentally, physically, and emotionally. So I know you. Know exactly what you're going through. The first count of the time and patience and love went into you. So no matter how bad at school you had, don't pay them fools no mind because you are mine. And you are the realest shit I ever wrote. You're dope. She smiled at me. She said, "Thank you, Daddy." After any time, little lady, and I simply lay back down.
Okay, I love it. I love it as a love poem to your baby girl. That just makes me happy. That was me and my dad. That's how we were. I love it. Um, beautiful, beautiful poems from amazing men who are doing great things in the Kakalakis. Is Greensboro in Carolina or South Carolina?
It's North Carolina.
It's
It's
North.
an
Okay, so
hour from Raleigh, hour from Charlotte, 2 hours from Fayetteville. We're pretty centrally located here in the state of North Carolina.
okay, okay. I need to come back
Mhm.
to North Kakalaki.
Mm-hmm.
Hadn't been
Mhm.
in a while.
Mhm.
Come on.
So come on, Cletus.
Oh, let's put to work.
You know you've been in Tennessee. I love when y'all come to Tennessee. Makes my heart happy. Well, thank you guys so much for talking to me tonight. Um, if you have not, check out D1, DEE1. I am sharing him with everybody that, because I just found out about him yesterday. If you already know about him, then good stuff. If you didn't, then check him out. I just found out yesterday, and he is doing some great stuff. Great stuff.
Yep.
Um, just a lyricist and not compromising at all. So I love it. So I'm
Yep.
sharing that. What are you guys reading?
Before you
Anybody
move
reading
forward,
anything?
because you like D1, have you checked out La Russell?
Lil Russell? Like
L A
Lil?
L A Russell. So, but it's
Okay.
one word, La Russell.
Love Russell.
La
Okay.
Russell. I think you would enjoy him and also what he's doing um in terms of just what he's doing independently and
Okay.
just all of the things that he's got going. Not it's not it's a long not D1 has a real pointed social consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
Russell is not that far into it,
Okay.
but in terms of like the community consciousness, it's also there. And I think as a lyricist, you'd also really like them. But they're out there doing some good work, both of them.
Good stuff. Love it. And what are you guys reading? Anybody reading books?
I mean, I just picked up Will's book actually. Um, so
Like
I
Will
want to
Smith?
read that. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
I picked up Will's book, and then I picked up now I can't think of his name. It escapes me. What's LeBron's manager's name?
Rich Paul.
Yeah, let's pick up Rich Paul's book. Yeah,
Okay.
he's got a book out.
Yep.
Yeah, doing some phenomenal things. Yeah. Hmm.
Uh,
This is glad you asked that question because this was sitting to the side. 'Cause this is what I'm reading now. This is How We Do It. This is edited by Jericho Brown, but it's a
okay.
collection of essays from
Mm,
Black artists about artistry. You know, both in terms of just creating art, but also thinking about navigating living as artists. I just started making my way through that. Um, so that I was glad to pick that up, and so that was definitely a good one for me to grab. So I grabbed that and I started that one recently.
good stuff. Um, I'm reading Kwame Alexander, Why Fathers Cry at Night. It's amazing if you haven't had a chance to read it, especially if you have daughters. I think it was beautiful the way it's been beautiful the way he talks to his girls, um, just about life and love. And then with my sons, I am reading Kingston and the Magicians Lost and Found. It's a YA book. Um, it's pretty dope. I wanted to find more books with Black protagonists that didn't have to die at the end because of some type of violence. So I went searching and I found this series. So Kingston is a great series, YA, and hopefully I'll be starting working on my PhD in young adult literature in January. So um,
Nice.
be able to write more into that space as I continue my journey as a writer and a poet.
Yeah, and shout out to Michael Harriet for Black AF history.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
yeah, I gotta get that a shout out. So I'm waiting for my copy to get here. But I'll tell you, I it's an older book, but I found a copy and I hadn't read it yet. Because I was, really I love Bell Hooks and I gotten into her book about love.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the book about there's a couple of books I got, but I got The Will to Change, which was a really dope book about manhood.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that I finished. Um, yeah, man, that was I finished. That was a real good. Um, it's it's not as tight because it's a later book for her, so she was older. But the perspective and some of the questions raised was real good. So I thought that was dope.
Good. Okay. All right. So everybody who has been watching and participating, we've had amazing conversation tonight with Desan and Josephus, and we have laughed and given you all some TV shows to watch as well as some books to read. And you can also go right now and purchase Desan's new book. Josephus, you got a new book or a book you want to share?
I do. I do have a book. It's called Poetry is Life. It's a children's book. You can find it on Amazon or Barnes Noble, all those different places. But yeah, it's a children's book, elementary school readers.
I love it.
Yeah, yeah. It's dope.
All
But
right.
hello.
Hey, pretty girl.
I'm almost done. Thank you. Okay. I'm
This
getting in
is real
trouble
life.
now.
I love it. I love it. I love watching
All
you
right,
with
I'm
your
coming.
babies. All right. We'll
All
let him
right.
go, baby. We'll let him go. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in
All right.
tonight to our first Sundays with Black Poets. Want to say special thank you to
I'm coming,
Desan
babe.
and Josephus for coming through. And we will see you all in December. That's December the 1st, I'm pretty sure. It's the
Yep.
first Sunday in December. We'll see you then.